Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Let me make sure mic and everything is good. Okay, I see the levels popping up. Shalom, everyone. Thank everyone for logging in and tuning in to this event. It's a special one. Long time coming. I've been hearing a lot about Rabbi Singer, and a lot of people get pumped when they have stuff about him, especially if they going at Messianic brothers and sisters, and they say, oh, no one can handle Rabbi Singer. And I came across this video and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to talk about Rabbi. I think we're going to do a reaction to Rabbi Singer today, right? Because a lot of people seem to shy away from this brother right here, but we're not the shy type. I run towards stuff. I don't run away from it. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know again, this is my take with Rosh Ya'acob. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. My name is Rosh Ya'acob ben Abraham, and I am the rabbi at Gethsemane Spiritual Temple Congregation, where we focus on Torah and Torah-based knowledge. It's all about Torah and striving to walk upright before the Almighty. So we got a packed show tonight. I think we're going to delve more into the topic than anything else. As you guys know, I always try to get an abundance of things together, and sometimes it overruns. But I don't think that's going to happen tonight. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to you all and interacting with you all. I got the chat ready. The chat is good. Everything's good on the chat. So that's good. So yeah, just gonna rock it out with you guys, and get into it. So first things first, we're going to get into some breaking news. And then after the breaking news, we're gonna have the artists of the week, which is a replay from the artist from last week. Same artist, wonderful trio of young sisters called 3 Before Joy. Very, very powerful sisters. Been in the game for a long time, and what I really enjoy about the artist of the week is I'm able to learn and meet new people and find out things that I didn't know at first, right? Because I never heard of these sisters, and they've been out for a long time, and I'm like, wow, they got a long catalog of music. And yeah, and if y'all didn't catch them last week, you'll get to catch them this week, and I believe you will enjoy them. So with that being said and done, we're going to get into our show. So we're going to start off first with our breaking news. Breaking news. So our breaking news tonight is
one
a
of those
very,
men who
very
filed that lawsuit against
intriguing story. Again, you guys know that I like to find stuff that is really out, that can really bring about knowledge and understanding of things that we don't hear about. This happened some time ago, and I never heard about this story. is something that happened in Rankin County. I believe that's Mississippi. And, well, I'll let you guys hear it. Very, very, very traumatic story. And, yeah. Let's just get into it. I'm not even going to hold you.
One of those men who filed that lawsuit against the deputies says that he believes that what happened was egregious, and his attorney wants the deputies held civil and criminally liable.
All right, so my whole thing with this is always tough. I'm just like, why can't the police be like the ones on TV? Don't we love the police on TV? I know most brothers and sisters that I know, they watch CSI, NCIS, Law and Order. They watch these different shows where you got these cops or these officers, and it just seems like they just the superheroes. They run around saving the day, and then you meet them in real life, and they're nothing like that. Now, I can't say all. There are no absolutes, and sure, there are some officers that are good, right? But unfortunately, the majority that we seem to run into are not those guys. And this is what you're going to hear right here that happened to this young man and his friend was crazy. Crazy.
We have to punish these officers unless these sick acts that I'm about to describe happen again.
Attorneys for two men who claim they were brutalized by 6 Rankin County deputies have filed a $400 million lawsuit against the deputies and Sheriff Brian Bailey in what the lawyer says may be one of the most egregious cases of police brutality in American history.
And as they should. When you hear what happened, you will agree. And I'm just like, wow, this is really, really, really crazy to me. It's really upsetting.
While they were handcuffed, they were punched. While they were handcuffed, they were beaten.
One of the men is Michael Jenkins. He was not only allegedly beaten and assaulted, but one of the deputies also shot him in the mouth.
They beat him, assaulted him, and shot him in the mouth. But it's going to get worse. You might say, well, what's worse than that? They beat him, assaulted him, and shot him in the mouth. Now, the accounts that they're not going to tell you about on here, and I was trying to find the video that went in even more clear, but I didn't want to go around too much with too much different things. But these guys were taken to the shower and stripped and beaten. They not telling. They kind of leaving bits and pieces out of the story, right? But you want to hear that they had to be naked when you hear what happens next. These guys were beaten while they were naked and handcuffed in a shower by police who didn't have a warrant and claimed they wanted to search the house for drugs. They didn't find any drugs in the house, and they took these young men, made them strip, handcuffed them in a shower, beat them, put the gun in this brother's mouth, and shot it where he lost the majority of his tongue, trying to kill him. Why can't the police in real life be like the ones on television? Because we love the ones on television, right? But these ones in real life, that's a different story. These ones in real life is a different story. All right, I'm gonna let him finish going on.
His tongue was separate. It was holding on by a sliver when the bullet went through.
Jenkins' mom says the bullet shattered the nerve in her son's left jaw, which has made it difficult for him to eat.
When he first came out of the hospital, I had to crush his medicine and give it to him in a syringe. I had to give him cream of chicken soup.
According to attorney Malik Shabazz, who filed the lawsuit, Michael Jenkins and Eddie Parker were both subjected to a 2-hour torture session. They say it happened in their Braxton home in rural Rankin County on January 24th.
2 hours. Brutally beaten and assaulted and attempted to murder him to cover their tracks.
I've never seen anything like this. I don't understand
Me neither.
why this occurred.
According to the 49-page lawsuit, deputies handcuffed, tased, beat, and waterboarded the men, forced them to strip naked and shower together, and even used a sex toy to attempt to sexually assault them, all while hurling racial slurs.
Yes. So now y'all see as the story developed more, these guys were stripped, beaten, waterboarded. Waterboarded is when they pour the water in their face and almost drown them and bring them back. Right? And the police officers were riding around with dildos. And they stuck these objects in these men. They stuck these objects in these men. It's like as time go on and stuff get worse and worse and worse. Now, we're going to find out even more why they did all this. Right? Let's hear why they did all this.
We're calling them constantly referred to these men as monkeys.
Monkeys. Remember that Karen called me a monkey? Remember that? They like to call us monkeys.
When they came in, they accused these young men of dating white women and selling drugs.
That's what it was about. That's what it was about. It was about that part right there. Dating white women. That's what it was about. Remember, this is in Mississippi. That's what it was about. That's the main thing that it was about. Always remember that scene from the movie with Malcolm X. And Malcolm was talking about the crimes that him and the guy Shorty did as they broke into houses and so forth. And Malcolm said that wasn't what they sent them to jail for. Their crime was dating white women. Why else would they take sex objects and stick it in these men? He was upset because he was dating white women.
Constantly referred to these men as monkeys. When they came in, they accused these young men of dating white women and selling drugs.
According to Shabazz, deputies didn't have a warrant and they turned off their body cameras during the assault, and Jenkins' family had a hard time finding out which hospital he was in after he was shot and wounded. His
Turned off their cameras. All of that, because they knew what they were doing was illegal. And guess what happened? These guys still had their jobs. They're walking around doing what they do. In fact, it wasn't until the lawsuit came out that they got fired. Still didn't get charged. Just got fired.
Mom believes Rankin County authorities wanted Jenkins to die so that he couldn't tell the story about what happened.
When he got out of the hospital, he was having nightmares. He had to sleep with the light on. And he would wake up in sweat and saying, he was just reliving the torture that he went through and over again.
Now, we did reach out to Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey as well as his designated media spokesman to get a response to this lawsuit. We haven't yet heard back. Now, the FBI is investigating this incident, but the attorney for both men wants State Attorney General Lynn Finch to file criminal charges in state court. For now, we're live at the federal courthouse. Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
This stories like this just get me, man. And when we say that we still, number one, as I said it in last week's show, we behind enemy lines. And people say, what do you mean? This, that, and the other. The mere fact that stuff like this is possible shows you that. This was crazy. This was crazy. It was. This was crazy. Ah, boy. I don't mean to bring stories like this, but sometimes when it's stuff that we need to hear to remind us where we are. To remind us what's going on around us. All right, guys. Yeah, this story really bothered me. Really bothered me. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and get into our artist of the week. And after we get into our artist of the week, then we will go into what you all logged in on and tuned in to see. So we're gonna go on into that. But for right now, we're gonna go into our artist of the week.
Shema, 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 Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. You need to hear voices like that to uplift you after hearing crazy stuff done to us by some devils. You do. You need to hear some beautiful, uplifting voices after going through all this deviltry, hearing about all this deviltry happening. For real. Oh my goodness gracious alive. All right. So now we're going to get into so now we're going to get into why we are here.
Why do we have to dispose of that? Why do we have to jettison it?
All right. Y'all him. I'm queuing everything up, getting everything ready. And I'm queuing everything up, getting everything ready so that we can get into this. There we go. All right, so I want to get into this. This is gonna be powerful, guys. I'm really excited about it. Woohoo! Yeah, I think this is gonna be awesome. All right, this is one for the books. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And so a little bit, yeah, right there. I want to blare up and blend in too much. All right, so what normally happens is Rabbi Singer has, like, I guess he has a podcast sort of like mine, but it's live. Well, mine's live too, so I can't say that's the difference. The difference is he's not doing a reaction. He actually has people calling in and asking him questions. So it's sort of like Ask the Rabbi, right? They ask him questions, and then he in turns answer their questions, and all their questions seems to be for him to debunk the Rebbe, right? And he is eager to do it, and of course he's coming at it from a Christian point of view, so he's really debunking the Christians. So I said, okay, well, let's see how it will hang up, how his views will hold up if it was somebody Messianic, right? If it was a Messianic Jew, a Messianic Israelite that he was talking to or dealing with, and not Christians, right? Because many things he's going to say about Christendom, I'm going to agree with him for, for the most part, right? But then it's certain things that he's going to say where he talks about the Rebbe. That's where we're going to begin to part ways. So I think this is going to be a good one. And we're going to go from here.
Because the true Messiah has come. This is Messianic. So we know we were wrong all along. Well, why did the Jews suffer?
Thank you very much, William and dear Rabbi Tovia. My question is concerning Isaiah chapter 53, verses 4 through 6. And the Christian apologetics would say that this is an example of someone dying for your sins, because in verse 4, our pains he carried them. Verse 5, with his wounds we were healed.
Now, for those of y'all who never read Isaiah 53, I might have looked at this and it said Isaiah 53 revealed. I put that in because that's the actual name of his video, is Isaiah 53 revealed. Like he's revealing something about Isaiah 53, right? So I said, okay, well, hey, let's call it what you call it, Isaiah 53 revealed. Now, for those of you who never read Isaiah 53, I would say go ahead and read it. Because if you read it, you're going to hear something that's going to be very amazing to you. The accounts of Isaiah 53, as it talks about this suffering servant, seems to be talking about the Rabbi Yahshua ben-Yoseph. Right? And for those of y'all who have been looking at my different videos on the channel, you may come across the playlist that I have for the suffering servant. It was something that was done by, it was a video that was done by DOA, where they went down sort of the same line of reasoning that Rabbi Singer is going to go down. They went down the same line of reasoning as he did and tried to come up with some of the same things. And I kind of threw some things out there that kind of threw a monkey wrench in all of that. So when I heard him reiterate the same thing they just said, I said, wow, okay, let's do this, right? Let's go ahead and do this, and we can do this with him and his reasoning. So I didn't watch his whole video. I looked at part of it. We're going to get through as much of it as we can, and this may be a part 2. This may be a part 2. Just want to let you guys know ahead of time, this may be a part 2, or it may not be. We'll see as we go into it. But for right now, you know, the man is asking him questions about Isaiah 53, and the stuff he's pointing out is the things that we know represented what Rabbi Yahshua ben-Yoseph did during his lifetime. And it represents it so well that whenever anybody reads it, they just automatically cling to it and say, hey, this is what it's talking about, right? But now, when Rabbi Singer and others who sort of got a playbook laid out, if you're going to see it, if when you hear it, you're going to be like, wow, that's exactly what they said. What DOA said. They saying the same thing. Now, of course, you know, these guys at DOA don't agree on anything else, but when it comes to the Rebbe, they came together with this and said, this is what it is. Now, just like I did with DOA, I'm going to do the same thing with him. I'm not going to rush through. I'm going to take my time. We're going to look at the scriptures that he brings forth. We're going to try to get the understanding from it and go from there. Because I don't want to just rush through and all of that. So we're going to actually stop and look at all of these things. So with that being said, I'm going to let the caller finish asking his question, and then we're going to go from there.
Yeah, verse 6, and the Lord accepted his prayers for the iniquity of all of us. And I'm unable to, even though I have your volumes and I'm looking and I'm trying, but I'm unable to put a cohesive counter argument.
Stay on with me, sweetheart. Stay with me. Just stay with me on this. Let's think this through together, okay? If you don't mind.
Okay.
Who is speaking?
Well, I'm not up there yet.
So let me just do this.
See, I'm telling y'all, if you go back and you listen and you look at the series, because it's a 5-part series, because I promised the brothers that I was going to be thorough with it, and I was. It was I believe it was a 5-part series. Yeah, it was 5 parts. And it is called Who is the Suffering Servant of Isaiah 53, right? And they start off with the same thing. Before you get into the verse and you start going to all the stuff that he just said was said, the first they say, wait a minute, we gotta establish who's talking. Who started this off? Who is the speaker? Who are they talking to? We gotta establish this, right? And so when I seen it, I said, wow, that's the same thing. So it's almost like I'm redoing it, but with a whole different person. So, let's hear him again. He told the guy, sweetheart, hold on with me. And then he's going to ask him,
Who is speaking?
Who is speaking? Right? First thing, who's speaking? And the first video, and that's why I got it in the description when I said to see other videos like this. First, I was going to have the other videos where I'm doing reactions against other rabbis, and I said, no, that's not it. I want people to be able to see that it's the same argument that's being made by a whole different group of people that don't normally agree at all about anything. But on this, they're in agreement. Right? And I wanted to show how this is coming from the same playbook. It's coming from the same playbook. And I really want you guys to see this. So if you guys want to pause, like for the guys look at a replay, because I'm not sure if there's a lot of people on here tonight. I know I started kind of late. And I can't really tell if there's anybody on it. Seems like it's just one person on here right now. And I know that's because I started late. Was having technical difficulties with my PC updating itself. I hate when it updates itself. And I said it would pick an awkward time like this to update itself. I'm like, really? Just when I'm about to get on, now you want to update yourself? I'm like, come on now. Come on. So, this is the thing. If you're watching this on a replay, which many of you will be, pause it. Go to the first video with DOA. Right? Look at that video. You want to see that it starts off the same way. The first thing they say is, who is the one that's talking? Who's talking right now? Because they say that makes the difference, right? We got to understand who's talking and who they talking to, right? That's what makes the difference. And I said, I agree. And we want to handle this the same way.
Well, I'm not up there yet.
So let me just do this.
Scroll, but
Stay with me. Stay with me. Just don't worry. Don't worry. Just stay with me.
Stay with him.
Okay, stay with me, sweetheart, because we need to get through this together. That is the most critical question. Okay, the most critical issue is who is speaking.
Who is speaking?
And if you don't know who is speaking, what's that?
The Jews, the people after...
No, the Jews aren't speaking. Try again.
Now, I agree. Right there, Israel's not speaking. Israel is not speaking right there at all. I totally agree with that. So, if it's not Israel that's speaking, then who's speaking? Think about it. If Israel is not the one speaking right there, let's put our thinking hats on. I agree with Rabbi Singer. Israel's not the one speaking right there. So if Israel's not the one speaking right there, then who's speaking? Let me think. Who's speaking If Israel not speaking right there, who's speaking? I already know the answer, but I'm just doing this for the build up effect, because we aren't going to agree on this next part about who's speaking. I'm gonna let him tell you who he believes is speaking.
This is the whole thing. This is the linchpin. This is what. So who is speaking?
I don't know.
Good. Okay. I love you. Forgive me for putting you on the spot, but if this is like going back to Job. If we don't know who's talking, then it opens us up to all sorts of spiritual infection where we just don't know how to respond because we don't know who's talking about who, right?
Yeah, he's right. He's right. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Right.
Like, that's like really important. Okay, so the Gentile kings of nations are speaking here in their complete astonishment.
That's where we disagree. He says the Gentile nations are speaking here. Now, what I did love about DOA, they didn't just come right out and say the Gentiles speaking. They say it could be the Gentiles. Could be Israel. They even I don't think they said what I was about to say, but they said they leaned towards the Gentiles though, right? Just like he did, right? But they left it up where it was for debate and discussion. They was looking, saying who it is. Now, oh man, I'm gonna let him get his thing on for a minute. Let y'all hear his premise, and then I'm gonna give mine.
How do you know? It literally says that. That's how Isaiah 52:15 ends. So shall he cast out many nations. Kings will shut their mouths because of them. Why? Because what had not told them, they'll see. What they had never considered, suddenly they will understand.
All right, so let's go back. Now, he says, oh, I'm blocking that. Let me unblock that so you can see what he's saying right there. And that's not favorable. I don't like the way that looks. Let me go back. All right, let me just take my image out the way for a minute so we can see what it's saying. That's better. Instead of flipping the different parts. All right, so Isaiah 52:15. So he will startle many nations. Kings will shut their mouths because of him. For what they were not told, they will see. And what they have not heard, they will understand. Now, it's nice to say, oh, because it says this about the kings of the nations, that's who's speaking in the next verse. But we all know and understand that's not totally how the Bible works. The Bible doesn't totally work like that. So this is a good argument, but the Bible doesn't totally work like that. You might be saying, well, Rosh, what do you mean the Bible doesn't totally work like that? When the Bible wants you to understand who's speaking, for the most part, it'll tell you. You don't gotta guess. You don't gotta try to figure out. It'll tell you who's speaking. Especially when it goes to another chapter. So what we gotta do to see if it is who he's saying is speaking or not, we have to look at the verse of Isaiah 53:1 to see if it falls in line with this. And I want you to see what it says. It says, so he will startle many nations. Who will startle many nations? Let's just go back. All right. Yeah, let's do this way so we can really get into this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the Bible. So let's do this. Let's go to, I'm going to open up the Tanakh. We're going to go to the Navim, and we're going to go to Isaiah, and we're going to go to 52. And go to the end of 52, which is 15. So let's go back up. Let's see, what is 52 talking about? Let's go back up. Let's get an understanding of what 52 is talking about. Awake, awake, O Zion. Clothe yourself in splendor. All right, so we see this is talking about Yisrael. It's telling Yisrael to awake. So let me make my image a little smaller because I want us to be to see more of the word and not myself. Because this was important with the knock says, not seeing me. So he says, awake, awake, O Zion. Clothe yourself in splendor. Put on your robes of majesty, Jerusalem, holy city. For the uncircumcised and the impure shall never enter you again. So again, we know this is talking about the Messianic era. This is talking about the Messianic era and the time of the end. Because we know right now it's a lot of impure and uncircumcised people in Jerusalem. So it ain't talking about now. Because it said they will never enter again. So that means it's speaking about the end. Arise, shake off the dust. Sit on your throne, Jerusalem. Loose the bounds from your neck, O captive, fair Zion. This is talking about when we, Yisrael, are going to be redeemed to our land. So when people say, well, hold up, they already in the land. Well, then no uncircumcised or impure shall enter them again. So this can't be talking about that same time period because it's making it clear that when this happens, the captive one, Zion, will be brought back and loose from the bounds and sit on the throne and sit on a throne in Jerusalem. This is letting you know that this is talking about the end, which did not happen yet. Look what it says. But thus says Elohim, you were sold for no price. You shall be redeemed without money. Look at that. Look at that. Who is this talking about? Just go to Devarim 28. You'll see what it's talking about. Anyway, but thus says my sovereign Elohim, or my sovereign Yahweh. Thus says Adonai Yahweh. Thus says my sovereign Yahweh. Of old, my people went down to Egypt to sojourn there, but Assyria has robbed them, giving nothing in return. Exactly. Didn't happen yet, Aki. They're not happy yet. Shalom to you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. And that's what I said. So we know that this ain't talking about what we see happening over there now. I remember talking to a brother, and we was sitting there talking, and I said, well, you know, Israel got to return to the land. He said, it already happened. I'm like, when? It ain't happened yet, because if that happened, then all this other stuff will happen too. What are you talking about? Don't be fooled. Hey, shalom, shalom, my key, shalom, my key. Hey, good to see both of you brothers. Good to see both of y'all. So I try to tell her, yo, don't be fooled. Like, come on now. So it says, what therefore do I gain here, declares Yahweh. Or Na'um Yahweh, the word of Yahweh, the declaration of Yahweh. For my people have been carried off for nothing. Their mockers howl the declaration of Yahweh. And constantly, unceasingly, my name is reviled. This is talking about what's still happening now, right? This is speaking directly to that. This is letting us know the era and the age that we're in. And that redemption part that's being spoken of did not happen yet. This is still prophetic. This is still something that's looking forward to taking place. Assuredly, my people shall learn my name. Think about it. The name has been stripped away from us. For most of our lives, we've been saying God and Lord. But now we're learning the name. People don't want us to learn the name, don't want us to say the name, try to get mad because we say the name. But look at what he's saying is, assuredly my people shall learn my name. So it's important to know his name. That's important. It says, assuredly they shall learn on that day that I, the one who promised, am now at hand. Wow. Wow. That's why I said, so as he used that verse, I want us to really get an idea of what that verse, what that whole chapter is talking about, because what him and others have done, they got a playbook. Thank you, Aki. Very important. What him and others have done, they got a playbook where they take verses out of context and throw them at you. If you don't know what the actual chapter is talking about, you'll run with whatever story they telling you. Like he was telling the guy, sweetheart, listen to me, sweetheart. I'm like, first thing I said, well, dang, why does he call his brother sweetheart? Oh, no, I ain't like that. But that's neither here nor there. Maybe that's just his dialect. Maybe that's just how he talks. You know, I'm going to leave that alone. I did. I was like, sweetheart? Like, what is he talking about? Why he calls us sweetheart? Listen to me, sweetheart. I'm like, what? What's going on here? Now, watch this. Watch this. How welcome on a mountain are the footsteps of the herald announcing happiness, heralding good fortune, announcing victory, telling Zion, your Elohim reigns, right? Powerful, right? They said this is the idea of the feet of the people who have the gospel, right? But this also is a sign of the Mashiach. See, he didn't say that. He left that part out. Just went to verse 15. I said, hold on, let's look at all of it. Hark, Your lookouts raise their voices. As one, they shout for joy. For every eye shall behold Elohim's, or and it says right here, Yahweh's return. For every eye shall see the return of Yahweh to Zion. That's what that actually says. I know they got Elohim there, but it says Yahweh. Or some of you, if you got a King James, it might say the Lord, but it actually says Yahweh. Raise a shout together, O ruins of Jerusalem. For Yahweh will comfort this people, will redeem Jerusalem. Again, this is not taking place yet. This is something that will take place. Look at this part. Oh, this is. Watch this. Yahweh will bear a holy arm in the sight of all the nations, and the very ends of the earth shall see the victory of our Elohim. Powerful, right? What's this holy arm? What does that mean, right? We're gonna get into that because we getting into the other different things, so we're gonna get into what's this holy arm that's being talked about. Again, this is a reference to the Mashiach. Because where did it first talk about the holy arm? And again, if you guys look at the series that I have with DOA, again, that series is called Who is the Suffering Servant of Isaiah 53. If you guys look at that again, you will see that I touched on who was the arm. Matter of fact, should I go there now? No, I'm gonna wait. Let's see. Wait for 1 second. Then I'll go there in a minute. All right. So it says, turn away, touch nothing impure as you depart from there. Keep pure as you go forth from there. You who bear the vessels, Yahweh. For you will not depart in haste, nor will you leave in flight. For Yahweh is marching before you. The Elohim of Yisrael is your rear guard. In other words, when we leave up out of this exile that we're in today, it's not going to be like the exile from Egypt where we had to flee. We had to sit there and eat the Passover in haste because we had to have our loins girdled and our sandals on our feet and our staff in our hand because we knew that we had to get out of there as soon as Pharaoh said to leave. I would say that's not how y'all going to leave. You're not going to depart in haste. You're not going to leave in flight like you running for your life. It says Yahweh's going to march you before them. We now had to leave like it feel like, oh, we got to hurry up and get out of here. That's not how that's going to happen. The Almighty is going to bring us in there with ease. It's not going to be no 40-day war that has to be fought and treaties with European nations and all this stuff to get us in there, and we still fighting people and bombing stuff and all that kind of stuff. None of that stuff is going to be happening. He says, I'm going to march you before them in ease. Indeed, My servant shall prosper, be exalted and raised to great heights. Now, this my servant right here. They want you to say, okay, this my servant is talking about Israel. I don't know. Let's find out, because in certain passages, it is talking about Israel, right? But what the people that's against Isaiah 53, representing the Rebbe, wants you to look at, is they want you to look at all the different times where this verse was talking about Israel, and try to leave out that sometimes when this verse is being talked about, it's not talking about Israel. But because I seen it here and there talk about Israel, then it must always be talking about Israel. That's how they try to present it to you. Look at what it says. Indeed, my servant shall prosper. Who's his servant? We would even say right here that this servant is speaking about none other than Rabbi Yahshua ben-Yoseph, the Mashiach. You might say, well, how can you say that, Aki? Look at the next verse. Just as many were appalled at him, so marred was his appearance, unlike that of a person, his form beyond human semblance. So think about it. Remember, many people was appalled at the Mashiach. He was beaten, right? It says, so marred was his appearance. Marred means to be cut, to be attacked. If we look at the accounts of what's written in the Brit Chadasha, the Mashiach was beaten. Terribly. Now, this is the verse that he quoted where he said it changes everything. But I want you to see how it doesn't change everything. He says, just so he startled many nations, right? Kings shall be silenced because of him, for they shall see what has not been told them, shall behold what they never have heard. Again, this still ties in with the counts that happened to Rabbi Yahshua ben-Yoseph. Kings were silenced before him. So y'all might say, well, come on, you stretching it a little far. We was with you for a minute, now you kind of leaving us out. Well, let's go to what he's talking about. Now, remember, in Isaiah 53, he says that this is the Goyim nation speaking, because in verse 15, it ends with saying, just so he startled many nations, kings shall be silenced because of him. For they shall see what has not been told them, shall behold what they have never heard. And then it says, who can believe what we have heard? So he wants you to take that from that. And y'all might say, who shall believe our report, right? But in the Hebrew, it does not say that. Look at what it says in the Hebrew. So this me right here, this mem and this yod is me. This me means who? Ha-amin, ha'amin means the one who believes. So who is the one who believes? Believes what? In King James and a lot of other versions, this part says, I'll report. That is not what that says in Hebrew. It does not say, I'll report. Lish mu'atenu means that to who hears us. Who hears us? So, in essence, it's saying, who is the one that believes what they hear from us, or what they heard from us? That's why they say our report, because our report is what they heard from us. That's why they just say, who has heard our report, right? That's why they put it that way. Because they try to make it pleasing to your hearing as you try to interpret it so you can say, oh, it's talking about their report. But it doesn't say our report. It says, who is the one that believes that which they heard from us? That's literally what it's saying. Who is it that believes that which was heard from us, or what they hear from us? Who believes what they hear from us? And look at the next line. And upon whom has the arm of Yahweh been revealed? Now, I'll ask you, who does that sound like is speaking? So I agree with him. He said, that's not Israel talking. I said, you're right, that's not Israel talking. But then he says, that's the Goyim talking. How, Sway? How? It said, who is the one that will believe, or who is the one that believe that which, who is the one that believes what they hear from, what they heard from us? And so it's showing that it's a connection here. And who has the arm Yahweh been revealed to? This is when we go and we look at, let me go to, I believe it's Exodus. And chapter 12. I want you guys to see something. And remember how this is tying in with Isaiah 52. That's what they tell us. This ties in with Isaiah 52. Well, look at what remember Isaiah 52 was in comparisons to Exodus 12. In Exodus 12, they was told, you gotta leave in haste. You gotta get out of here. Isaiah 52 says, nah, not this time. You leave, you're not gonna leave in haste. You're not gonna be on flight like you running for your life. None of that. I'm gonna march you out with ease. I'm gonna march you out. In other words, you're going out with ease. And nobody's gonna be able to stop you. All right, so I want y'all to see something. If you go to Exodus chapter 12, and you see, might have to look it up to find exactly where it says it. I wanted you to see what it says about the arm. All right, let me try to find this. Let me try to find this. I want you guys to see what it says about the arm. Oh, what an outstretched hand. That's why I can't find it. With an outstretched hand or arm. All right, so that's why I'm looking for it in chapter 12, but it's in chapter 13. So it's Exodus chapter 13 and verse 9. So chapter 13 and verse 9. So it says, where my little mouse at? It shall be a sign to you on your hand and a memorial between your eyes. Now, those y'all don't know, when it talks about this is talking about the tefillin, right? Tefillin is the box that has certain verses within it, and you would tie it on your head, and you also would tie it on your hand, but it's mainly on your arm. So the word hand and arm, they has this interchangeable because all of this is your hand or arm, right? So look at what it says. Remember, it says, who has the arm of Yahweh been revealed to, right? Or who has the hand of Yahweh been revealed to? The hand of Yahweh has been revealed to his people. And it started with this feast, Pesach. Look at what it says. It shall be as a sign on your hand or your arm, and as a memorial between your eyes. Talking about the tefillin when you tie it on and so forth. And it says that Yahweh's law may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand, Yahweh has brought you out of Egypt. So with a strong hand, Yahweh has brought you out of Egypt, right? Now, oh, I think, all right, so let me see. I didn't see what you said, Aki. So let me see. And see if I can see what you would say. So why don't they wear it today? Oh, that's what you said. Okay, Aki. I was like, I missed something. All I say was where. All right. Well, people do wear it today, right? This is the thing. We can make our own and wear it, but Teflon costs so much money. That's crazy, right? Something that is needed, like the talit and the zitzits and stuff like that. But the Teflon costs a lot of money for just one, let alone both of them. Like, let me see if I can bring up some prices for them. Hold on, let me see if I can bring up some prices for them. Now, you guys, so let me that was a good question, brother John. I'm glad you asked that. All right, so now you guys may have seen people wearing this before and just didn't know what it was. And the Mashiach actually talks about this. So the Mashiach was down for this to be done. Remember when he said, "Don't let your in a Brit in a renewed covenant," it says, "Don't let your phylacteries, don't wear your phylacteries all big, like the Pharisees do, because they want to be seen of men, and you wear your phylacteries real extra large, but you wear them." But don't wear them extra large so people say, "Oh, look how big his is. He must really be holy," right? And say, don't do all that. Wear it, modest size, this, that. Oh, don't make your zitzits extra long so they can say, "Look how long his zitzits are. Oh, he's really, really holy. His zitzits are really long," right? So, no, don't do that, right? He said, because if you do stuff like that to get the attention of men, you already got your reward. So he says, so don't do that, right? So this is basically the Teflon right here. These things cost money. Let's click on this. It says shop Teflon, right? I don't know. We might get a good price, right? See, it starts off at $195. So it costs almost the same as it was just the bag. This might just be the bag. All right, so that's the Talit and the Teflon bag. That's just the bag. That's not even it. I had to think for a minute. Whoa, that's just the bag, right? Let's see the actual Teflon. Like this is just the bag for you to put it in. You can put your Talit in. You put your Teflon in a bag. That's just the bag. See how much that thing costs, Brother John? Brother Tony and everybody else that might be watching. Look at this. $851. $2,184. I think this probably the cheapest on the page, $550. Look at this, in the thousands, right? That's how much these cost. Exactly, Aki. Exactly. They cost almost as much as a large size. The Torah scrolls actually cost like thousands, like 20,000 and all that stuff, right? Yes, that's why I said to go along with Torah. If we had seamstress and people that could make this for us, we can make it ourselves. We don't have to pay all this extreme amount of money, right? Some people would say, well, it's not authentic if you don't buy it from them. If you know this is something that's Torah, you know this is something that's needed, why make it this hard for regular people to be able to buy it? Why make it so hard? So that's why you don't see a lot of people running around wearing it today, Brother John, because it costs money. It costs money. It is what it is, right? So that's basically what's going on with that. All right, let's go back to Isaiah 53. I don't want to get too far away from what we're supposed to be talking about and start talking about a whole bunch of other things. All right, we're getting close to winding it down anyway. I think I'm going to stop at 10 o'clock. All right, so it says, who is the one that believes? Mi ha'amin. Who is the one that believes that which they've heard from us? Who's the us? Let us make man in our image. Whoa. Who's that talking? Might say, oh, you're going too far, you're going too far. All right, let's look at this. Let's go back to Genesis, right? Right? Let's go to Genesis. I'm gonna go to chapter 11. Remember when the Tower of Babel was built? Look at what let's go to verse 1. Now the whole earth was one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Then they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and they had asphalt for mortar. And they said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. Now, we know that this is what Noah's descendants decided to do before the Almighty confounded the language. What happened in the midst of that? Verse 5 happened. But Yahweh came down. Now, I want you to see this. So I'm going to go to the interlinear so we can see the Hebrew over top of the English. I want you to see what it says. Wayered. And he came down. Who? Yahweh. And Yahweh came down. L'rot, to see. Et ha'ir, the city. Wa et ha-migdal, in the tower. Asher, which Banu, they built. B'nai ha'adam, the sons or the children of Adam. Right? So this is what happened in verse 5. Now look at what verse 6 says. Why you're mad? And he said, who is saying this? Yahweh. Hain, indeed, or behold, the people Achad are one. Wa safat we safa, and the language akat is one. It says la kolam, and they have all, and they have all. Why is a in this ha kalam they begin la asot, to do. Wa ata, and now lo, nothing. Ye batsar will be withheld behem from them. All asher, all that yazmu they devise laosot, to do. So look at what happens. It says, Abba, come. Ne nirda, let us. Let who? Who's talking? The Almighty, right? You see this nun? Hold, let me show you this. This nun, this letter right here is called a nun. The nun is used in the Hebraic language to, in the beginning of the word is future tense. So that's why I said, let us, like we about to do something. Let us, like it's proposing to do something, right? So it's let us go down. And it says, why ne bala, and let us confuse. Shem der, safatam, their language. Ashad, which, lo, that which, lo, yish me'u, they may not understand, they may not be able to hear each other, they may not be able to listen to each other, right? Who? Each man, safath, of the speech, re'ehu, of another, right, or of his fellow. Now, we know that it also says this same us, and here go the none right here, why I said it says, and let us confuse, right? And your King James still says that. Let us go down. Let us do such and such and such and such, right? So I agree with him. The us that's being spoken of is not talking about the nations. Well, it's not talking about Israel. And I disagree with him. It's not talking about the nations. This us is speaking about they're showing something personal that's happening in this passage that we're reading in Isaiah 53. Because Isaiah 53 begins to relate to us all the horrible things that was going to happen to Yahshua Mashiach. Horrible, horrible things that was going to happen. And just like I did with DOA, and y'all can go back and look at that, I'm doing right here. Next week, when we come back to this, I'm going to get into the horrible things that was done. And I'm going to show again how what he's saying is not the case. Listen to how it talks. This is the Almighty making a declaration. Who is the one that believes that which they've heard from us? And who has the arm of Yahweh been revealed? Who is the hand of Yahweh been revealed to? who are the ones that believed or listened to? Who are the ones that believed that which they heard from Yahweh? Is it not Yisrael? So yeah, it's not Yisrael speaking, nor is it the nation speaking. But it's someone asking a question that's referencing Yisrael. So that's why your version says, who has believed our report? Whose report? Who is the one that wrote the report? What report? The word report is not there. The word is what they heard from us, our sayings. Who has believed that? Who has the arm of Yahweh been revealed to? Is it not Yisrael? So yeah, he's right. You gotta know who's speaking right here. It's not no goyim and ain't no nation speaking. Because it would say, and a nation said, blah, 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 do. It doesn't say that, even the way it's written. Who has believed our report? Who has believed that which they heard from us? Who is the arm of Yahweh? See, it's not asking something, saying this is something that happened to the same group of people. It's trying to give you a different way of looking at it. That's like me talking to my children, and I say, who has provided for you all your life? And who is it that makes sure you got this and that done for you? I'm still talking about the same individual, right? I'm not talking about nobody different. Both of these questions are geared towards the same group of people. Who has the arm of Yahweh been revealed to? The arm of Yahweh been revealed to the Gentiles? Or the Gentiles bragging saying the arm of Yahweh been revealed to them? What are you talking about? The Gentiles believe the report of the Almighty? That's why I say he's right. Once you get the who's talking, then everything's going to become clearer. So I just want to clear that out for right now with this part. And we'll come back next week. We'll touch back on this part, and then we're going to go further. So again, I'm going to leave you with this part. Mi ha'amin, who is the one that believes. Lishmu'atenu, that which they heard from us. In other words, who is the one that believes our report? And upon whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? Is it not Yisrael? Is this not talking about Yisrael? Have we not built everything off of what Yahweh said to us and believed everything that he said? Is not his arm been revealed to us? Just keep those questions in your mind. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Again, I appreciate everyone who logged in and called in. Especially appreciate my brothers for logging in at the power hour. Just when we started getting down, they logged in, and really appreciate them for that. And next week we're going to be on time. Hopefully it don't be anything. I knew it was going to be something to it when my computer was sitting there spinning, and it kept saying, do not cut off. And I just seen the little thing spinning around, do not cut off. And I'm looking at the time, I'm like, yo, are you serious right now? I'm at to cut it up. I cut off. I didn't pay no attention. And then when I cut it back on, it still rebooted. It didn't even care that I cut it off. So I said, so what's the point of telling me don't cut it off? Anyway, my name is Rosh Ya'acob Abraham, Rabbi representing of Gethsemane Spiritual Temple, representing Gethsemane Spiritual Temple congregation in the Torah. And I want to bid you all a shalom. And I will talk to you all next week. Shalom.
Shema Yisrael Adonai